For Ammon Bundy and Ron Vrooman and All Other Patriots, Part 3. November 9, 2020 by Anna von Reitz. Now, people are having a hard time understanding what I wrote in Part 1 and Part 2, because this is all radically different from anything they learned in school. Yet, millions of American men and women have cause to know that what they are experiencing every day, having their paychecks forcibly docked and being afraid of what should be their own police forces, and being harassed and being ordered around by people who are, in fact, their employees doesn't make sense. The idea of being free and living in a free country doesn't stack up with the actual facts, does it? But stop a moment and think, all you veterans out there. You have experienced something like this before, haven't you? In the service. And there is a reason for that. When an American joins the U.S. military, they adopt a foreign political status as a territorial U.S. citizen. For the duration of their tour of duty, they have no constitutional rights or guarantees. Theirs is not to reason why, theirs is to take orders, because they have signed on as an indentured servant of the British Crown Corporation. They don't stand under our public law anymore. Instead, they stand under the Code of Military Justice. Every single American veteran in this country, millions and millions of people, have directly experienced this process for themselves and know exactly what I am talking about. All our veterans were trafficked into a foreign political status and a foreign jurisdiction and subjected to foreign law, so when I say that we Americans have been involuntarily and unconscionably trafficked into a foreign jurisdiction and subjected to foreign law, it should ring a bell. We didn't choose to join the U.S. military and have no reason to do so. We are civilians, landsmen. We are free, sovereign, and independent people who are being mischaracterized as U.S. citizens and subjected to the foreign laws that pertain to U.S. citizens in violation of the Constitution of the United States of America and in violation of the Geneva and Hague Conventions, both. And this is being done to us by our own misdirected employees in the U.S. military and civil service. They are acting under a number of false presumptions, chiefly, 1. That the American Civil War is still ongoing via a continuing stream of illegal mercenary conflicts promoted by the presidents of 2 governmental services corporations, the U.S., Inc. and the USA, Inc. 2. And that we, Americans, were ever involved in their mercenary conflict. 3. And finally, that the employers are dependents of the employees, and all our American babies were just abandoned on the battlefield, a whole bunch of fraud and self-interested bunco, in other words. What these people have done here is an international capital crime. It is, in effect, genocide on paper. It's a plot to remove Americans from our natural position of sovereignty and to traffic us into a foreign political status and to subject us to foreign law without our knowledge or consent. It's treason. It's a hanging offense. This scheme involves crimes that have been outlawed for over 200 years. Inland piracy, unlawful conversion, enslavement of civilians, peonage of civilians, uncompensated confiscation of private assets, identity theft, mischaracterization of nationality, impersonation, barratry, press ganging, extortion, racketeering, conspiracy against the constitutions, conspiracy to evade constitutional obligations, human trafficking, breach of oath, breach of office, breach of trust, public trust fraud and public bankruptcy fraud, credit fraud, credit theft, malfeasance, grand felony theft, embezzlement, counterfeiting, conspiracy to defraud, coercion, unconscionable contracting. Make no mistake, our employees, our own military, has been employed to attack us as if we were the enemy, and they have used lawfare to do it. They have been misdirected to do this by foreign subcontractors, the Queen, the Popes, and the Lord Mayor, using and abusing our own delegated authority to do this to us, and all while ultimately collecting their paychecks from us. The U.S. military has been aided and abetted in this by various agencies and misdirected federal civil servants as well, including hired jurists, who have come in here and raped and pillaged our innocent populace under the false presumption that our actual government no longer stands and that we are all dependents of the Crown, and subject to King's equity law. Well, our sovereign and unincorporated government does stand. We are parties to the constitutions. We are owed every jot And as the purported donors of all these public trusts, we have the final word on their administration, liquidation and disgorgement, that is not left to the discretion of the perpetrators of this vast criminal fraud scheme. We have unraveled all the lies these cretins have told about us and all the falsified paperwork they have created, including false birth registrations and bonds issued as clearinghouse certificates held against our good names. We have declared our natural birthright political status and assembled our assemblies, and now, fellas, it's time you all got your wake-up call and got your heads wrapped around this and joined us. There are 50 states of the Union, all properly defined and officially enrolled as such, all owed your loyalty and service, and 50 state assemblies that have nothing to do with any district assemblies run by and for our foreign employees, who have been knowingly or unknowingly usurping upon and trafficking us during our purported absence. We are home, and we have always been home. The delegated powers have returned to the delegators, and we are telling our military to wake up and fall out. Your job is to protect us and our assets, and to enforce the constitutions. Period. All veterans, please notify your former branch of service that you have left their jurisdiction and returned home. Do that for your own safety, so that they can't claim that you are still voluntarily residing in their jurisdiction and therefore owe any allegiance to them. And everyone who really is an American, declare your correct birthright political status, record it, and join your actual state assembly. Don't be fooled about this any longer. Go to www.theamericanstatesassembly.net. All the other organizations out there are either 1. District assemblies run for and by our erstwhile employees and their dependents, or 2. Numbnuts who don't know what they are doing, or 3. Decoys designed to trap the unwary into some new scheme. Stay safe, stay smart, stay in your lane, and pass the word.